Matthews, Rick Talbot. They always make everybody so welcome.
So what's your favorite thing? Do you prefer the food or the networking or the inspiration? What's your favorite part?
Oh, gosh. The inspiration.
The inspiration.
The inspiration. They have such a wide array of speakers. And, it's good to be reminded that it's not only okay to be Catholic in the work world, but that it is awesome to be Catholic in the work world.
I think that this is actually a great opportunity for bosses. So if someone, like you're listening on your lunch break right now, you're just trying to get away from your work for a little bit, this is a way that you can really be a witness without, kind of pushing it on your employees. You can suggest, maybe join me for, don't make it mandatory, but just join me for this breakfast. I'll sponsor a table, and we'll have a nice breakfast before we go to work, and that's going to build some team camaraderie with your employees there, and you're going to be witnessing to them as well. It's not like an evangelistic where we do an altar call. You have to come to Jesus when you come. This is for networking, and then we just have a speaker get up and say kind of how they live their faith through their work. So it's about integrating your Catholic faith with the rest of your life, and meeting some other Catholics from other parishes as well. Like, Joel, that's the thing that you said when you originally started, was you and Robert Bruns were in the same networking group together, but you didn't realize that you both went to the same church. Is that how the story goes?
Correct. That's exactly it. We didn't realize that we went to the same Mass, and this went on for 2+ years, and we met weekly. Interacted with people all the time, and we never brought up religion. And come to find out, went to the same church, same Mass, kids are about the same age. Yeah, that was kind of an eye-opening.
Wow. So that's why this idea actually happened. And it's $10. $10 gets you the buffet breakfast at El Asador Mexican Restaurant this Thursday. We start at 7 a.m., but we build networking time in. So if you get there a little bit late or you have to leave a little bit early, that's all fine. But we build that networking time in there so that you can meet other people and maybe exchange some business cards. And if you're not in the workforce, like you're looking for work, or you're a stay-at-home mom, or you're retired and you just want to have a $10 breakfast with other Catholics, this is a great place to come. No one's turned away.
Well, yeah, come if you're not in the workforce, you're a stay-at-home mom, come and meet some of the other Catholic professionals that are out there. There might be a Catholic pool cleaner, a Catholic electrician, or a Catholic banker that you might want to
there you go,
with.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I like to say, it's the bulletin come alive.
Well, and you never know who you are going to bless, because if you rub shoulders with someone who's in a different state of life than you are, then maybe God's going to use you to bless them. And so if you don't show up, you can't really be part of that.
There you go.
$10 gets you everything. GRNonline.com has all the details you need. Full schedule for the year. We've published the whole thing pretty much. You can sign up for any of the prayer breakfast in advance right now.
Absolutely. Because we've got it set up for every 2 weeks out, you can set your schedule between now and probably the end of the summer.
Yeah.
Tim, that's an awful lot of Mexican food for you, isn't it?
No.
Every 2 weeks? I'm a little concerned about your waistline there.
Well, how do people eat in Mexico? Like, it's Mexican every day, right?
They don't eat what we eat here. They're not having huevos rancheros and flour tortillas every morning. This is sort of our own, like, American or Tex-Mex variations.
See, I come from California, so it's the Baja that really gets me. I go light on the Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
No offense, Texas. It's really tasty, but,
Well, it is, but it needs beer, and, that's not too good at breakfast.
No, we don't serve the beer at breakfast. Anyway, I'd love to see all of you there this Thursday in Katy at El Asador and South Mason Road. Get the details. Sign up for $10 at grnonline.com. grnonline.com. Now, we have joining us by phone Father Zach Akers. Father Zach Akers, are you there with us?
I am. Good afternoon, Tim.
Good afternoon.
Great to be on here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. I got a tip from one of our listeners, Tanya, shout out to Tanya right now, that you are in town for a special event over at Regina Caeli Parish. And since we're trying to cover, all of the parishes in Houston and all the news that's going on there, I was wondering if you first will tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do with the FSSP, and then second,
Sure.
what Regina Caeli is up to. So I guess first let's get to know you. Zach Akers, where are you from?
So I'm from Virginia. This is only my third time to Texas, or to Houston area. I'm enjoying my visit. I was ordained a priest 5.5 years ago for an order called the Priestly Fraternity of St. Peter.
Priestly Fraternity of St. Peter.
That's right. Founded just a little over 30 years ago by Pope St. John Paul II and Cardinal Ratzinger.
Now, what's special about this order?
So the reason that we were founded was to preserve our liturgical traditions, namely the Old Latin Mass and all the Old Latin sacraments and rituals, to operate parishes around the world. So we have over 300 priests and 165 seminarians from over 30 different countries.
Really? That's a lot. 300, how many priests did you say?
320 priests and
320.
165 seminarians.
Oh, my word. So are you growing, or are those numbers down from where you used to be?
No, so we started with just 12 priests and a handful of seminarians 31 years ago, October 1988. And we've grown so much. We ordain an average of 13 priests every year. Wow. We have so I'm the director of development, and I'm based at our North American headquarters in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Uh-huh. But I travel around the United States and Canada to visit our different parishes in North America. We have 40 parishes in the United States.
Okay.
5 here in Texas. And so I visit the different parishes for special events like we had yesterday, and we'll talk about that. But also I'm in charge of fundraising for our fast-growing community, namely our seminary. We have our own seminary, Our Lady of Guadalupe, a wonderful patron, in Lincoln, Nebraska.
In Lincoln, Nebraska. I was going to ask where it is. So Lincoln, Nebraska is pretty centrally located for those 40 parish communities all over North America?
Exactly.
Or United States?
Exactly.
So the one here in Houston is Regina Caeli. That's up north by the racetrack around Beltway area. And so what are you doing in town for Regina Caeli?
Right. Yeah. So we're very, very blessed to be invited here into the Archdiocese in 2011. Many of your listeners might be familiar how quickly our parish is growing. So established, thanks to be to St. Elizabeth Van Seaton, for 5 years. Father Van Fleet was living there, and we had our parish there. We had borrowing the church there, great hosts, but we were established as a parish in 2013, and since then. There's been a huge project that we've been starting, and so we have a parish hall for the last number of years, which serves as a temporary church building for almost 300 families now we have at the parish. And the next phase of this big project, we just did the groundbreaking for the next phase. So it's a gatehouse, which kind of sounds funny, but in the end, what it is, it's this gatehouse is going to be a place for the parish offices, additional classrooms, the priest residence. We have 2 priests here now, but we're going to have capability to have 4 priest rooms, so we could have eventually, hopefully, one day a 3rd priest and then a guest room. So this Blessed Solanus Caeli Gatehouse, we have the groundbreaking yesterday here at the parish.
That's great.
So it's really exciting.
It is exciting really to see parishes grow all over Houston, and the FSSP has a special kind of charism that I'm, as a liturgy geek, I really love. So I'm very glad that you're down here and that things are going so well there. Now it's called the Solanus Caeli Gatehouse. Why is it named after Solanus Caeli? Yeah,
that's a great story. I have a myself personally. I do have a devotion to this. I believe he was Capuchin priest from Michigan. Blessed, he's a blessed, just beatified, I think, last year. Blessed Solanus Caeli was a porter, and so what that means in a monastery, you have one of the priests, or if you nowadays we have secretaries, lay secretaries probably, but back in the day, and even now in some traditional monasteries, you have one of the priests assigned as the kind of the face, the front door doorman, and called the porter. And Father Solanus Casey was thought to be not theologically very advanced, and they didn't, let's say, want him preaching sermons and teaching so much. But he was just a very holy, devout priest that now we know very saintly. And people had such a devotion to him. He would be there at the monastery in, I think, just outside of Detroit, Michigan, and people would come to him at the front door of the monastery to ask for prayers, ask for advice, ask for blessings, and sometimes long, long lines of people. Quickly, people realized what a special saintly priest Father Solanus Casey was. And so there's many different stories I've heard. You could look them up, but one story that I liked, I was privileged to visit that monastery to pray at his tomb. And you hear all these great little stories, which kind of make you think of St. Therese a little bit, these little miracles, where one day, it was a very hot day in Detroit, Michigan. If you've ever been there in the summer, you would appreciate this. Long lines of people waiting to see Solanus Casey. And Father Casey saw a little baby, a little toddler crying. And it was such a hot day, sweating and everything. And out of his hot little booth, he pulled out a perfectly frozen popsicle. And gave it to this crying child, and of course delighted everyone to realize, wow, there's no way. Where did he pull this from?
Wow.
A freezer underneath his booth.
Is it just me, or does that sound like a very American miracle?
I love it. No, I love it.
That's really great. Yeah. Oh, God works in mysterious ways, and God is really there in the small things. And so it makes sense. Blessed Solanus Casey being the porter, the one who, greeting the people and bringing them into the church, that's where the gatehouse, comes in. That's kind of what you're going to see as you go on to Regina Caeli's property there. So was it a good ceremony?
It was really great. It was great to see for me, as I travel to our different parishes and get to know our wonderful parishioners around the United States. It was really a delight for me to see hundreds of people there. I didn't get a count yesterday how many were there. Beautiful day, beautiful sunny day, and for me, I loved to get the taste of the Texas barbecue. So we had some wonderful
yes. Welcome.
Texas barbecue made by the parishioners. So thank you for that.
We're gonna get some of that ourselves. Hopefully, because we try and sample the barbecue from all the parishes, because all the Knights of Columbus groups all over, they all do their own smoking and their own cooking and everything. It's wonderful. So, Father Zach Akers, thank you so much for joining us. Our time is actually running a little short here, but would you mind leaving us with our audience with a priestly blessing?
I'd be honored to. Thanks again, Tim, for having me on, and I'll do the blessing in Latin, as we do as our young order of priests. We try to preserve our wonderful heritage as Catholics.
The language
Latin
of the Church.
The universal
Yes.
language. That's right. Benedictio Dei omnipotentis, Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti, descendat super vos et maniat semper. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Father Zach Akers from the Priestly Fraternity of St. Peter. God bless you wherever you go.
God bless you too.
Okay.
Thanks.
We're going to be taking a break here shortly, but when we come back, we're going to be talking to the foundress, the grand poobah of the Genius Women's Conference. I'm not sure you've heard of this yet, but you are going to right after this on the Catholic Lunch Break. My name is Tim Mott, and you're listening to AM 1430.
You could win a brand new 2020 Cadillac CT5 Luxury Edition in GRN's 20th Anniversary Car Raffle. Upgrade your style and commute in comfort, all while supporting the mission of the Guadalupe Radio Network. The drawing for the Cadillac is March 6th, so get your raffle tickets soon. Each entry is only $25, and you get a fifth ticket for free when you spend $100. Just go to grnonline.com to purchase yours. That's grnonline.com.
Tim Mott here, and I have some great news. To kick the GRN Cadillac raffle into high gear, we have several gifts for the listeners who help us sell the most raffle tickets. If you sell 50 Cadillac raffle tickets, you could get a kielbasa gift basket. Sell 100 tickets, and you could win a weekend retreat or a wine tour. And a large handcrafted rosary suitable for home decor is going to the top seller overall. We have to sell 2,000 tickets by February 28th, so email me now, tim@grnonline.com. tim@grnonline.com.
Hi, this is David Magianis, and did you know there's a Priest Talent Show coming up? Yes, Regina Caeli Academy is presenting the Priest Talent Show and Fundraising Gala on Saturday, February 1st at Bartholomew Catholic Church in Katy. This event has dinner, drinks, an auction, and of course the Priest Talent Show. Come and support our priest, and come support a great Catholic homeschool program. Again, this Priest Talent Show and Gala is on Saturday, February 1st at 6:30 p.m. For more information, go to rcahybrid.org.
Kielbasa wishes the Guadalupe Radio Network a blessed 20th anniversary year. To support the GRN here in Houston, Kielbasa Smoked Meats is donating 3 gift boxes of our famous kielbasa sausage to the volunteers who sell the most raffle tickets for the GRN's annual car raffle. This year, the giveaway is a 2020 Cadillac CT5 Luxury Edition. Please join us in helping to make this 20th anniversary car raffle a huge success for KSHJ. Contact Tim at grnonline.com.
You're listening to the Catholic Lunch Break on AM 1430 KSHJ. My name is Tim Mott, your host, joined by David Magianis and Joel Matthews, a wonderful team I have behind me here. And I wanted to let you know that the GRN, the Guadalupe Radio Network, that you were listening to right now, is giving away a Cadillac. We're giving away a 2020 Cadillac CT5 Luxury Edition, not the sport model, the Luxury Edition. Yeah, well, you're excited about that. Well, that's exactly what we're doing, is because we polled. We surveyed the audience, and we said, we've been giving away these sports cars every year, but do you guys really want sports cars? And so really what came back was they wanted something more practical, and we were like, well, we want to give you something practical, but it has to be something you can get excited about. So Cadillac Luxury Edition, I think that works pretty well. 2020, we've been hearing some good news about Cadillac right now. They're kind of making a comeback in some markets. You read that this morning.
I did, yeah. So they're making a comeback. So Tim, you want to give that to somebody here in the Houston area, right?
Yes. So this is a fundraiser. It's a fundraiser for the Guadalupe Radio Network. It's one of the things that tides us over from the kind of dry months after the holidays until our first share-a-thon, which is going to be in March. And so that's a long spell there. So we need your participation in this in 2 different ways. First, get your tickets. You could win a car. Isn't that amazing? It's $25 for a Cadillac. So $25 per ticket. You get a 5th ticket if you buy 4. So a 5th ticket free if you buy 4. So that's 5 for $100. Really wonderful deal. You can do it right online at grnonline.com. Super easy. It's secure. You just go there and you're just like, yeah, I want that car. So GRN's going to give me a car if I pay them $25. Well, you're helping to support Catholic radio here in the Houston area, but also across the whole Guadalupe Radio Network, which, as you know, we have 37 stations. So this is an amazing work that you are supporting. But the second way that we need your help is, like David said, I really don't want to give the car to someone in Dallas or to someone in Midland or to someone in Florida. I would like to give it to someone in Houston. I'm the general manager here. I want to make that phone call, and I want to be able to say, you got a brand new car. But to do that, we need to sell a lot of tickets in Houston. And so the second way that I want you, listener, to help is to sell tickets for us. And to make this a sweeter deal for you, not only could you win the car if you buy the ticket, but I have a ton of other prizes that I'm going to be giving away to the people who help us sell the most tickets. And I want to be highlighting those a little bit more and describing them a little more. I don't want to take too much time right now to do it. So I'm going to be putting out some videos on our Facebook, in our Facebook group, GRN Houston. So go to Facebook and search for GRN Houston, get signed up for the group, and you're going to see more of those as I put them out. But I'll just give a quick rundown right now. As you heard in the break, the Kielbasa Smoked Meats Company is a great Catholic company, Catholic-owned company, I should say. They have donated 3 gift baskets, and I'm going to give those away to people who sell 50 tickets or more. You sell 50 tickets and for the Cadillac, and I'll put your name in a drawing to win one of those Kielbasa gift baskets.
And they're so delicious.
We were just talking about
products.
barbecue and
awesome.
Sausage.
And bacon.
Yeah.
And bacon. Oh, my goodness, yes.
Typical guy. Bacon rates at the top of the list, right,
I
David?
don't know why. It does, though.
Okay, but if you can do more than that, I've got even more stuff. 100 tickets or more. If you can sell 100 tickets or more, I'm going to put your name into a drawing to win either. And the first one drawn gets their choice. So it's going to be like draw 1, you get to pick, draw 2, you get the second choice. First, a wine conference. A wine conference at Le Bistro, which is the restaurant of the Culinary Institute Le Notre, because the owner of the Culinary Institute Le Notre here in Houston is a Catholic radio listener. He listens to AM 1430 and wanted to donate something to support the mission. And I said, I know exactly how I'm going to give that away.
And Tim, this gentleman used to be like the top-rated pastry chef in all of France.
Wow.
Yes, so you're going to be hearing more from him. Like I said, I can't go too much into it right now. But for 100 tickets or more, that's one of your choices. 2 other choices, you could get a weekend retreat at the Christian Renewal Center or at the Holy Name Retreat Center. And all you got to do is sell 100 tickets. If you're selling them in batches of 5, like that deal, 5 for $100, that's only 20 sales. Do you think maybe you want to buy some for yourself? That's one. And do you think you can find 19 other people and all of your friends and family and coworkers and parish? And of course you can. So this is actually very doable, and you could win one of those great things. Or you could win the car as well. You could possibly win both. So you could win a weekend retreat at the Christian Renewal Center, Holy Name Retreat Center, wine conference at the Culinary Institute. And just because I wanted to do one that's not actually a drawing, the number 1 top seller, no matter what the number is and no matter what else you win in these drawings, the number 1 top seller is going to get a home decor rosary that is handcrafted by our good friend Leslie Najum. And it's like large, it's like 2 feet long, metal and crystal, and it's absolutely lovely. So that's going to go to the top seller overall. Now, how do you sell the tickets? Just email me. I'll give you all the details. It's super easy. Tim@grnonline.com. I even set up a landing page for it on the website. So go to grnonline.com and you will get all the information you need right there.
That was good, Tim.
Did I do it?
Yeah, that was great.
I kind of laid it out very clearly. I've been practicing.
That was good.
Okay.
That was good. So I hope, people listening, so come and, help us out. We need some help.
We do need some help. I set a goal. The goal is 2,000 tickets by March 2nd. That's when we have to close the sales. And so we need your help there because we are we're almost halfway through the time, but we're only 10% of the way towards the goal. Now, it always hockey sticks up at the end, so I'm okay with this. I think God always comes through, and our listeners always come through, and we're going to hit that 2,000 ticket goal, but we need your help to do it. Tim@grnonline.com. David, do we have a sports report?
We do. We have a sports report. So, hey, Dave the sports guy here, rolling out your Catholic sports report for the Houston area. So let's start with boys. High school basketball. Strake Jesuit Crusaders walloped A-Leaf Taylor Lions. St. Thomas Eagles defeated St. Pius X Panthers. Versati Falcons lost to Fort Bend Christian Academy Eagles. Cristo Rey Lions lost to Westbury Christian Wildcats. And O'Connell Buccaneers lost in overtime to Alpha Omega Academy Lions. And now in girls high school basketball, St. Agnes Tigers lost a close one to Concordia Lutheran Crusaders. St. Pius X Panthers defeated Duchesne Chargers. Versati Falcons won a close one over Fort Bend Christian Academy Eagles. Incarnate Word Falcons defeated St. Pius X Panthers. And O'Connell Buccaneers walloped Brazosport Christian Eagles. In other sports news, there was a helicopter crash yesterday morning that killed 9 people. Among the 9 people killed included Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna, and 2 of Gianna's 13-year-old basketball teammates, Peyton Chester and Alyssa Altabelli. Peyton's mother, Sarah Chester, was also killed, along with Alyssa's parents, longtime baseball coach John Altabelli and his wife, Carrie. Christina Milzer, who was assistant basketball coach and mother of 3, also died, along with pilot Era Zobayan. Kobe Bryant is an NBA legend who played for the Los Angeles Lakers for 20 years and won multiple championships. John Altabelli was the head baseball coach at Orange Coast College in Costa Mesa, California, where he won multiple championships as well. John Altabelli has ties to the U of H baseball team as a coach. There's a good article on Kobe Bryant in the National Catholic Register where it talks about Kobe's journey as a Catholic and how scandal turned him to a priest and to strengthening his faith. May their souls who died in that crash rest in peace. And that's a wrap of this week's sports report for the week of January 20th. Keep your radio tuned to AM 1430 for next week's recap of Houston's Catholic sports. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you, David. sad, it's tragic about Colby, but I'm so glad to hear that he was a Catholic and attended Mass right before his death, actually. So
yeah, that's a good article if you have a chance. National Catholic Register.
National
go
Catholic
check that
Register.
out.
Thank you. Joining us on the program is Liv Harrison. Liv, you are no stranger to AM 1430. Welcome back.
Hi, good to be back.
Hey, it's good to have you back. And but this is your first time on the Catholic Lunch Break Show because this is still a fairly new show.
It feels weird. I got to be honest. I didn't have to fight any traffic, and I didn't have to wake up early.
Exactly.
Kind of. You guys are brilliant. This is fantastic.
Well, I still got to get up early to help Joe with his show, but
that's Joe.
It's kind of like to give my best hours of the day to Joe, and then here I am in the middle of the day. Like I'm hungry.
So I got a bit of coffee.
Okay, so no, we're good. We're good. So you're here, a Catholic Lunch Break. But let's for the new audience here in the middle of the day, let's introduce you. So what's your elevator pitch on yourself?
On myself, I'm a professional speaker.
Professional speaker.
I am, and I MC, and I do the radio a lot. I'm on Sirius XM every 5 weeks, and I also co-host Forte Catholic about every 5 weeks.
Forte Catholic, nice.
I'll be in New York next week. I leave Thursday, but I'll be in New York doing Sirius from New York. I usually do it in Austin.
Okay.
So, yeah,
awesome.
and I'm a creator of a women's conference.
And creator of a women's conference.
All those things.
Brilliant. So the women's conference is actually why we brought you on today. Are you from Houston originally?
No, I'm from North Louisiana.
North Louisiana?
Natchitoches. If you ever saw Still Magnolias, that's my hometown.
So
the guy that wrote that was my mom's best guy friend in college. So
really?
It's a true story about his sister.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
So there you go. So
and you married, have kids?
I am.
Okay.
I married my high school sweetheart. We met in the youth group at Christ the Good Shepherd back in the day.
Back in the day.
He went to Westfield.
It couldn't have been that long ago.
Oh, thank you. Yes, last summer.
Okay.
And it was very fast.
Very fast.
And
now you have a 13-year-old.
Well, my son's turning 17 on Wednesday, which is weird because I'm only 26. But that's okay. I'm not good at math. And then I have a 9-year-old. He goes to Versati. She goes to St. Anne and Tomball.
Oh, okay. So we just ignore the straight guy in the room. We'll talk to him later. Maybe put up a wall here, but okay. No. Okay. So Genius Women's Conference.
Genius Catholic Women's Conference.
Genius Catholic Women's Conference.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your elevator pitch for that?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I've done ministry my entire life. There's a lot of incredible ministry out there, but there's also not a lot of incredible ministry out there. And I was approached,
and also a lot of not incredible ministry.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
When I was approached to write a women's conference, I was like, that's a hard pass. I was like, I'm not doing that. Women's conference, no way. And I kept getting asked, and so finally I did. And what I wrote was not intentionally done this way, but I kind of wrote a hybrid, which is not what I thought I was doing. But that's what happened. Genius is different because it has the atmosphere of a retreat, but it's got the content of a conference.
Okay, so you're going to have to unpack that a little bit. A lot of people don't even think about the difference between a retreat and a conference.
Yeah, and there is. There's a huge difference because I've written both and I've staffed many of them, so there is. A retreat is very, personal. It's very, the Holy Spirit is severely present. It's very emotional. Mm-hmm. It's very, connective. It's, it's a lot more interactive and, you have different things that just kind of make this atmosphere into this place of intimacy. A conference, you kind of come, and a lot of times it can really be like a lecture, which is fantastic. It's very academic.
Yeah.
You learn a lot of things, but it's not as interactive. If you were to walk into my conference, you wouldn't have known who was a speaker and who was attending. And it was designed that way. There's no green room. There's no egos. It's just women. And I didn't want a mom's conference. I didn't want a young adult conference. I wanted a conference for women.
Just any woman.
Yeah. So anyone who is, I really say 21 and up because we do have cash bars. We're Catholic and it gets really fun Saturday night. I've got a DJ. Right. But before all that, we have Mass, the Rosary, Divine Mercy. We're hoping to have confession this year. I'm working really, really hard. So all the elements that are there, but what it is to be a modern woman who's traditionally Catholic. What does that look like? And so we really dig into the feminine genius that Pope John Paul II wrote in the letter to women. And that's where we get all of our inspiration. And so it's amazing. We had 4 women come back to the Catholic Church last year.
Yeah,
from this conference.
That feminine genius thing that St. John Paul II, I've not had a chance to dig into that. I've heard about it, and I've heard kind of what it's about, but I don't really know the details. Can you bring us up to speed on that?
I got to be honest. My opinion on that is, not to sound, abstract, but I think it's kind of one of those things when you read it, I think everyone kind of interprets like they kind of take it on their own as from what I have decided from women. I like women to read it and to really hear what he's saying about how the church sees women. I don't know about you, but the secular world has been telling women kind of a lot lately what a woman is.
Yeah.
And what she looks like or who is a woman and what they are and all this kind of stuff.
It's very self-determinative.
Yeah, and self-care. And there's a lot of mixed messages from the secular world. And I think it's coming from a place of pain and a place of want and desire. I think we've lost the mystery of conversation and how to connect. I think especially as a woman where we don't have these villages that we used to have, and we're so segregated. And now we have Instagram to compare everything to. And I'm thinking, I didn't know today was Blessed Holy Paper Day, and my children aren't painting pictures of saints that blessed paper, whatever it is you see on the internet.
Right.
These, and you're like, wow, I don't do those things. I'm a terrible mom. I'm not a good Catholic mom, or I'm not married yet. I'm 30. And what does that mean about me? I don't love Jesus. There's a lot of messages out there that social media likes to feed us and that we believe. And so I feel like we've lost the script on conversation and really lost the script on, okay, let's be women. Let's first figure out why. Why were we created as women? What does that mean? How does the church celebrate that? And what is our purpose and our strength here? And I think to begin that, you've got to restore the woman, and she's got to see her beauty, and she's got to see her purpose. And so when you come in, there's makeup wipes at the doors. You come as you are. There's scrunchies in the bags.
That's
put your hair up.
Good touch.
Yeah, like we're all here together, and we're going to journey through this together. And so we've got women all ages, all walks of life, and so are my speakers. It's very intentionally written.
Now, how many times have you done this conference, the Genius Women's Conference?
So this will be the second one, and people were just really, it just hit this thing that like I didn't know, I didn't realize. The Holy Spirit did. He was very present. And so it was done outside of Austin last year. And so this year is my first year to finance it completely on my own.
Right.
So if anyone wants to pray with me to baby Jesus about that, I will take your prayers. So.
We can set up a chapel here in the studio, and
everyone light a candle.
Yes.
But yeah, so we have our own website, and we have sponsorship programs and all those things, and all the other normal things. But yeah, so it's a big risk that I'm stepping out on my own to finance it. But the women were just blown away. And so, you got to do what the Holy Spirit tells you to do.
Exactly.
There you go.
Now, how did that impact you personally? Like, what did you take away from this experience?
Okay, I have a really cool story. It was Saturday night. My keynote speaker is Mary Lindenberg. Every speaker I have, well, most of them are international speakers.
Same speakers as last time?
So we added one.
Okay.
So yes, I have Allie Hoffman. She's in her 20s. She's not married. She's very well-known, incredible speaker, has a huge Instagram following because she is a calligrapher. Her father is a very well-known speaker. And so Allie comes from the Dallas area. I have Allison Sullivan, who's in the middle of raising her family. She's we actually went to high school together, and she's now this incredible speaker, and she's just a lot of fun and fantastic and so wise. We have Mary Lindenberg, who comes from the D.C. area. She has an amazing book, Being Brave and the Scared, or Brave and the Scared. And her story will just floor you. And she's later in life. She has, empty nest. And then we have Catherine Whitaker, who's a local, she's an Austin gal. So she knows the best barbecue places in Texas. If you ever need barbecue, you call Catherine Whitaker. She's got a book, Live Big, Love Bigger. And she is an incredible speaker. And, so they're all a part of this,
and
nice
we
have
spread
praise and
there.
worship.
Different people, different stages of life.
Different stages,
so there's
different
something
everything
for everybody.
And it's intentional that way. And it was amazing how many of the women who were in their 60s were identifying with Allie, who's in her 20s, and how many girls who were, we had a couple of 19-year-olds who got so much from Mary Lindenberg because of her story. And that's kind of the whole thing of coming together as women and cracking it open and saying, this is why the feminine genius, this is what makes us different than, you wonderful guys. I don't know if you know this, Tim, but women are different than men. So,
I've noticed.
Have you
There's
noticed?
something weird.
Yeah, you should take notes.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Can't put my finger on it.
Yeah, and most men can't.
Maybe you can.
We're not supposed to.
No.
Yeah, exactly. It's that mystery. But yeah, we have praise and worship, and we have, like I said, all the other amazing Catholic elements, and then we have an incredible dance party. But it was Saturday night for me personally, back to your question, when Mary Lindenberg was giving the keynote. We were just finishing dinner. People were getting their dessert, and it hit me because my gifting is I have the gift of woo. I'm really good at winning others over, and I'm really good at networking and connecting. That's my gift, and I love nothing more. And I'm serious. I was sitting there and I was really taking in this moment, looking around the 150 women that came, and it was just an awe moment, like, oh my gosh, this happened because God is amazing. And I looked at Mary and I'm listening, and all of a sudden in my heart I heard God say, Liv, you have connected your whole life for everyone else, but this is the first time you've connected for me. And I was like, okay. That was a little amazing,
Okay.
and he was right.
Give me one of those makeup rags.
It was powerful because it was true, and here we were bringing all these women together for him, and so it was absolutely glorious. So I'm excited. I'm scared as anything, but what else is there to do but take big risks in the name of faith for the
Absolutely
glory
right.
of God?
Well, I mean, and I love what you're saying about connecting people together, because that's one of my favorite things about radio is that what it does is it connects people. And so here we are connecting you to our audience, and we're connecting our audience to this Catholic Women's Conference. So we need to get the details out
Sure.
there. So what's the date, location, website, all that?
Great. So the date is March 6th through 8th. And it's going to be in Irving, Texas. So it's the Dallas area.
March 6th. That's the same day as our car drawing, the raffle.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, great. They could use the car and drive to the conference.
Yeah, if we can get it delivered that fast.
Perfect. There's women flying in from all over the nation. All over Texas, people are going, groups of Houstonians going. So it's not a weird thing. And people who don't even know people are going, and they're getting roommates.
They could carpool.
Yeah, exactly. So it's at the Marriott Las Colinas, which is there in Irving, which has a really cool bourbon bar. Just in case any of the husbands come, they'll be occupied. And there's lots of restaurants and cool places. And it's a really great venue. And I'm there because of my music and sound and DJ guy. He has a wedding, and I'm building this around this guy because he's the best.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Will Hickle. So
Good.
I want to be there for Will. And so it's March 6th to 8th, and it's Friday, like around 6:30 is when VIP, 6 is when I think VIP starts, 7 is when it'll begin. We'll be done on Sunday by 1. It's a full weekend, great girls weekend. I've got girlfriend packages, and I've got a student discount. But anyway, the website is geniuswomensconference.com.
I'm confirming that right now. Fact checking. GeniusWomensConference.com. So this is not just for genius women. This is for any woman, because all women have genius.
We have women who aren't Catholic who came last year who are coming back.
Really?
So, hey, you never know. Everyone is invited. It's great for girlfriends. It's great for mother-daughters. It's great for sisters. It's great for friends. It's great for you want to meet somebody. It doesn't matter. It's all about being a woman, showing up and just living with God and praising and having a blast and learning some really cool stuff.
Sweet. Well, Liv Harrison, creator of the Genius Catholic Women's Conference, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Catholic Lunch Break here on AM 1430. We're going to be talking to Mark McNeil shortly, Strake professor who wrote a book with Catholic Answers. But right before that, I've got a special interview.
All right, so let's go to that.
Joining us on the program right now is Sammy Dennard and Mary Lejeune, tourist, really, from St. Philip's and Huffman. And I say tourist because they are here in our studio to take a tour of KSHJ. Mary and Sammy, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming. And you've brought a group with you, but let's get to know you a little bit before we start talking about your church and your parish. Let's start with you, Mary. How would you introduce yourself to the city of Houston?
Oh, I joined St. Philip's Catholic Church about 2 years ago. I had moved, and I was looking for a great parish where I felt like I was part of the family.
Did you come from outside of Houston, or is it?
I've lived in Houston since I was 18 years old.
Really?
Right out of high school, came to the big city
From
Louisiana.
From Louisiana? Sammy, what about you? How long have you been with St. Philip's?
We joined St. Philip's in 2014, I believe. Have really enjoyed it. We visited the first time and found out that Father Barker was from Midland, Texas, and we had moved here in 2012 from Big Spring, Texas, which is very close to Midland.
Oh, so you got something
in common. And so it was like,
there.
wow, this is kind of neat. We know somebody from West Texas area, so...
Excellent. Well, my assistant, David Magianis, he's also from the Midland, Odessa area, and that is where our radio network started.
Yes, it is. We listened to it when we lived out there.
So you have been a longtime Catholic radio fan.
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we won't hold that against you. Now, you are here with a group from St. Philip's, so is this a regular thing that y'all do?
Yes, it is. We're prime timers. It's our 55 and up older, senior, wiser adults, maybe you might say, and we enjoy getting together and visiting places like the radio station, and then we always enjoy lunch together and then head home.
So where are you going to lunch today?
Cleburne Cafeteria.
Cleburne Cafeteria. It sounds lovely. I maybe got to try it out myself sometime.
Yes.
Cool. Now, who organizes this? Is that you?
Claudia Heron is our director of Primetimers, and I've been working with her since we joined the church. It was something I kind of wanted to do, and she was very happy, I think, that I was assisting her. So we've enjoyed it.
Well, thank you, Claudia, for bringing everybody here today, and thank you, Sammy, for helping. Now, Mary, I know that you've only been at the church a couple of years now. Were you there before Harvey or after?
I was there right after Harvey. Then we had another flood since then.
Right,
Imelda flooded us again, and we're out of our church again.
That is absolutely tragic.
It's tragic to us. We've lost our home base, and we hope that we haven't lost too many parishioners. However, we have lost some.
Well, it's
difficult. The Lord will bring them back.
Yeah, absolutely. God is in control no matter what happens. And I believe that even though, you know, how we offer up our own suffering, for our own salvation, our own conversion and redemption, I think the parish can offer up suffering too. And even though you guys are going through a hard time there, not having a building really that's yours to worship in, I think God's going to bring something good out of that for your parish and for the people there.
Financially, we're hurting as well.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But Father Barker, he has done an amazing job of keeping the group together and really showing some good leadership, I think.
Sure. He
awesome. Has, Tim, and that's one reason we're here today, because our programs are continuing, even though we're not in our church. It's Mary's Blessing is one of our ministries, and Primetimers is another, and we're holding them together. So
that's good. Now, where are you meeting now?
We are currently meeting at Atascocita United Methodist Church.
And what time?
Our weekly Mass is at 4:00 on Saturday afternoons.
Well, I encourage people to visit, because I got to go out there when you guys were meeting in a country club after Harvey.
That's right.
This parish is vibrant and welcoming, and I love hanging out with you guys. And I'm really glad that you came to hang out with me today. So,
and we're very fortunate. This Methodist church is a much better place for us to worship.
Yeah.
So we're so grateful to them.
God bless them. God bless the Methodists.
They've opened it up, and it's a very nice place.
Well, Sammy Dennard and Mary Lejeune from St. Philip in Huffman, thank you very much for joining us on the Catholic Lunch Break.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, that was a fun tour. I really enjoyed having all of the seniors there, the prime timers, as they say, from St. Philip's and Huffman. But joining us right now on the Catholic Lunch Break here on AM 1430 is Mark McNeil. Is that Dr. Mark McNeil? No, doctor? Okay. And Sarah Cortez, who has graciously connected me with you. Sarah and Mark, welcome to the program.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad to meet you. Let's introduce you to our audience a little bit. So you are a assistant principal at Strake Jesuit. What's your background there in the education realm?
Sure. Well, I've been at Strake Jesuit this month. It's been 20 years. I came there in the 1999-2000 school year in the middle of the year to teach theology. And I've taught theology there now for all of these years. But for the last 8 years, I've been in the role of assistant principal for formation, which focuses on the Catholic Jesuit identity of our school, and especially focusing on training our faculty and staff and keeping alive that mission and that focus in our school.
And how do you feel like that's going?
It's going really, really well. Strake Jesuit is really a marvelous place. It is our focus is very intensely on maintaining and stirring up and keeping our focus on being a solid Catholic school, enriched by the charism of the Society of Jesus. But it has been wonderful. I've got tremendous support there. The faculty and staff, we work really, really hard to get good Catholic people to come join us in our mission. And it really works. It works.
Well, speaking of good Catholics, your conversion story is actually the reason that we have you on the program today. But are you originally from Houston?
I am. I grew up probably about 25 miles from here.
25 miles from here. Nice. And what about family? You got married? Have any kids?
Yeah. In fact, my wife works also at Strake Jesuit, and we have 5 children. One that's still at home, our daughter. But yeah, did not grow up in the Catholic faith, though. I've been a Catholic for about 20 years.
So you've been teaching at Strake about 20 years, and you've been Catholic about 20 years. It sounds like there's an interesting, that was an interesting time in your life.
Well, it's a complicated story, but in my earliest years in life, our family really didn't go to church anywhere. My mother, her family immigrated to the United States after the Second World War. And
where'd she come from?
From Poland.
From Poland, okay.
And so everybody in Poland is Catholic. And so my mother was raised a Catholic as well, but my dad was raised in the Assemblies of God, a form of Pentecostalism, and grew up here in this part of the country. And so I think when they met and they got involved with each other, they sort of backed away from practicing any religious faith. And so that's what I grew up around, was really nothing until I was around 7 or 8 years old. And my parents sent my sister, and I have a sister that's a few years older than I, down the street from our house on a bus to a Baptist church, I think just to get a little morals in us, I think was their idea. And it was there that I first heard the story of God's love for us in Christ and fell in love with it.
Now, that's very interesting that both of your parents were religious, but because of the differences, they kind of called a truce or a ceasefire and said, let's not. But that made you kind of a blank slate.
I think that's true, although in my parents' lives, it was really after my sister and I got a little bit older that I think their own religious tendencies started to come alive. I think they were raised in a religious tradition, Catholicism and Protestantism in the form of Pentecostalism. But I think for themselves, they just sort of grew up around it, and it was very nominal. And so their own religious outlook and life began to grow really alongside of our own.
Okay. So I guess that's where we should pick up the story, is when you were kind of young there and you got bused to the Baptist church, just because you need some religion in you. What was your experience then?
Well, making a complex story over a decade and a half really short. We first got involved in a Baptist church for several years, but through a whole series of events that I try to describe a little bit about it in the book. Got involved in Pentecostalism, but the Pentecostalism we got involved with was a kind of a fringe form of Pentecostalism that was very anti-traditional in terms of their theology. They had, there was a part of the Pentecostal movement that began in the early years of the 20th century. There was a part of it that sort of radically denied Trinitarian theology. Most forms of Christianity profess something close to, if not identical with, the Catholic belief in the Trinity.
The Trinity is so central that if you deny the Trinity, your actual status as being a Christian religion is actually called into question. So how did they get away with that?
Well, we kind of flipped that around. We argued that in the 4th century, real Christianity went down the tubes with Emperor Constantine, and one of the things that he did was introduce this idea of the Trinity. It was a real convoluted form of history that we held to, but there was an attractive dimension to it because most people find the Trinity rather difficult to appreciate. For a lot of people, even in the church, it's sometimes just a mathematical problem. How is God 3 in 1 at the same time? And so within the form of Pentecostalism that I was in, we called ourselves Oneness Pentecostalism. We described it like this, sitting here right now talking to you, I'm a father, I'm a son, and I'm a husband. I'm all three. I have all three roles or activities, but I'm a single person having this conversation with you. And so we understood Father, Son, and Holy Spirit like this. God is Father because he created the world. He's the Son because he redeems the world. He's the Holy Spirit because he's active in the world. But he's only one person. And so it's easy to argue that. Most people don't have a deep knowledge of the Trinity or ability to defend it.
Right, but that's actually a heresy. I believe it's called modalism. Is that the one?
Sure, yeah. It goes by various names in the early centuries, but modalism is one of the common ways of referring to it, that God, the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, are simply different modes that God takes or
And just so the listeners don't get confused, that's wrong.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And so my journey to the Catholic Church was very much built around my discovery of the Trinity.
Okay. The Trinity is so central. Now, our time is short, and so I want to jump straight to your book. It's called All in the Name, How the Bible Led Me to Faith in the Trinity and the Catholic Church. And it tells the story of how the Trinity kind of, got you out of the oneness movement and into the Catholic Church. But it's published with Catholic Answers. How did you get connected with Catholic Answers?
Well, it's a funny story. I mean, I had some relationships from far back with some of the people connected to Catholic Answers, but out of the blue, I got a message from Trent Horn at Catholic Answers about a year and a half ago, I guess, back in 2018. And he just sent me a message and said, "Hi, Mark. I saw your manuscript on your journey into the Catholic Church."
You had published that online?
I had put a rough form of the manuscript online on a website that I had, and so he said, "I saw this manuscript and would like to know if you were interested in Catholic Answers publishing it."
Wow. Okay. So that sounds like it's a God thing. You didn't even ask for it. You just had a manuscript. What was the motivation for writing it in the first place? Was it just kind of a personal revelation kind of thing?
Yeah, that's a great question. Writing it several years ago, that I was waking up early in the morning and I started writing it. And really my motivation was, the issues that I discuss in this book and my own journey into the Catholic faith, since then, over the last 20 years, much of my time is spent focusing on other things besides these particular issues. And I started thinking that as I get older, a lot of those details are going to start fading into the background of my life. I have a lot of different interests, and I'm especially passionate about trying to find ways to connect with young people now that are, questioning the faith of the church. And so those are the real passions of my life, are, the church's understanding the relationship between faith and reason, and that our faith makes sense, and that it's powerful, and that it's compelling. And a lot of the things that I discuss in this book are kind of weird from a Catholic perspective.
Right.
The background that I come from is very strange from a Catholic perspective. What I'm trying to do in the book is to, discuss the challenging arguments that led me into that, but that I think the Catholic faith has really profound responses to. And I just wanted to have a record of that, because it's not every day that I talk about these kinds of issues with my students. They're worried about other things. But my hope was that by telling my story in this way, at least, some people that maybe struggle with the Catholic faith and maybe from a similar background to my own, or people that just want to listen in on how a person found their way from such a strange background into the Catholic faith, might derive some benefit from it.
Yeah, I know that fans of Catholic Answers are going to love this book. I'm looking forward to reading it myself. But the reason we have Sarah Cortez in here with you today is because you are doing a book signing and a special event with Catholic Literary Arts, which is Sarah's organization. Sarah, would you mind telling us a little bit about the event itself at All Saints Church on, I have the date here, February 8th?
February 8th, 10 a.m. at All Saints Parish in the Heights. Tim, as you know, we launched a very exciting series in 2020 called Doorways to the Sacred. And it hosts Catholic authors, editors, and publishers. So Mark, we were lucky enough to get Mark scheduled for February 8th to bring him to talk about his book, to sign books, to entertain questions, to give people fascinating answers, because we are in the business of connecting Catholic authors to Catholic audiences, because there's so many people that are interested in writing themselves, or are interested in reading, or just want to hear the inspiring story that these authors have to tell. So that's what we're in the business of doing.
So that's CatholicLiteraryArts.org.
CatholicLiteraryArts.org. Come on down and join us February 8th.
So that music means that we are actually running out of time now. But Mark, thank you so much for coming on the show today. And Sarah, thank you for joining us. I want everyone to go down to CatholicLiteraryArts.org and at least check out the events page there. Genius Catholic Women's Conference. So we got GeniusWomen'sConference.com. Of course, I'm going to see all of you at the Katie Prayer Breakfast this coming Thursday, 7 a.m., grnonline.com. And again, thank you to Zach Akers for Father Zach Akers, for joining us and telling us about Regina Caeli and the FSSP earlier on in the show. My name is Tim Mott. I've been your host for the Catholic Lunch Break here on AM 1430. We do this every Monday at noon, and I want you to join us again. Just take a break from Dr. Ray occasionally. But we're going to be sending you to Dr. David Anders coming up next with Call to Communion. Speaking of getting great answers for your faith and great conversion stories, if you ever get a chance to hear Dr. David Anders' conversion story, it's pretty impressive. So stay tuned here on AM 1430, and we'll talk to you again on the Catholic Lunch Break next Monday. Go, and may God go with you.